Okay, try and picture this. Really step back in time. It's 1347 AD. You're there, on a straw mattress maybe, in this drafty Yorkshire cottage. Bone-chilling cold. You can see your breath. And right there, right there, barely 3 feet off, life. Your mother-in-law's coughing, the kids are rustling around, maybe the family pig, the pregnant sow is grunting nearby. Not exactly a private retreat. And yet, somehow, in all that, your husband's hand, calloused, finds yours under this rough wool blanket. It's this moment, right? Quiet. Connection. So this deep dive, it really got me thinking, how did couples find intimacy, find love, even just connection, when privacy, it just wasn't a thing?
It's a fascinating question, isn't it? It completely challenges our modern ideas about romance and
Yeah.
personal space. What we'll explore here are the, frankly, ingenious ways medieval couples navigated this constant observation, yeah, but also really strict social rules, the realities of everyone living on top of each other, how they managed to keep their bonds strong, build families. It says so much about human resilience and adaptation. Truly remarkable stuff.
Yeah, resilience is the word. Okay, let's unpack the reality a bit more. For most people, the vast majority, home was a single room. That's it. We're talking maybe 8, 10 people, sometimes 3 generations crammed in. And that one room, it's the kitchen, workshop, dining area, and bedroom. All in one. Even if you were wealthier, those bed chambers, they weren't private sanctuaries, often multiple beds, sometimes just a tapestry hanging between them. Puts a different spin on quality time, doesn't it? Trying to have a quiet word with a pig grunting next door.
Exactly. And it wasn't just the physical lack of space. You had society, the church, imposing these incredibly strict rules, morally, religiously. The church taught very clearly that desire itself, outside of aiming for children, was sinful. Marital relations, forbidden on loads of days, Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays, plus whole seasons like Advent and Lent, major holidays. When you add it all up, there were surprisingly few allowed days for intimacy. It just adds another layer of, complexity. And this isn't just some historical footnote. It really highlights that intimacy, at its core, maybe it's more about intention, about finding ways to communicate. Ingenuity, really. Yeah. Maybe something we forget with all our modern privacy.
So, okay, with all these constraints, physical, religious, how did they do it? How did a couple express affection, connect? Retreating wasn't an option. They must have developed a sort of system, a subtle language maybe, this language of medieval intimacy. Then, you can almost picture it. A touch that lingers just a second too long when passing ale. A look across the hearth that says more than words. Or maybe whispering something mundane like, need to check the grain stores, but it actually means something else entirely. A code for wanting a moment alone, like their own little secret hidden in plain sight.
Absolutely. Those subtle cues were everything. It's almost like the lack of privacy forced a deeper communication. I need to read those unspoken signals, that empathy. And you asked how they created space. Well, one really clever thing was the church bed curtains. Heavy fabric, often the most valuable thing they owned. These weren't just practical, sometimes blessed, maybe even gifts from the church. They gave the marital bed a kind of symbolic legitimacy, while also blocking sound, blocking sightlines, creating this little cocoon, a pocket of relative intimacy right there in the main room. And then there's the midwives, often playing this crucial, maybe slightly hidden role, secretly giving advice, timing, positioning, even, sources hint, at early forms of contraception. We even hear about couples maybe desperate for a moment, briefly sleeping outside, just for some quiet. That tells you a lot.
That's incredible. The curtains, the midwife network, hidden tools and support. And it gets even more ingenious, doesn't it? Using the very rhythms of life. Spring comes, suddenly there are legitimate reasons to be out in the fields alone, or seemingly alone, checking crops, gathering herbs, perfect cover for a stolen moment. Imagine, oh, I must check on that patch of wild garlic, having a totally different meaning. And things like pilgrimages, shared hardship, yes, but also extended time away from the village, away from those constant eyes. Unique windows for intimacy, maybe strengthening the bond through that shared journey, that vulnerability.
Yeah, it becomes so clear. Medieval intimacy wasn't about finding quiet solitude. It couldn't be. It was about connection within the crowd. Ingenious connection, found right in the middle of constant presence. It just completely reframes how we think about love and connection.
It really does. So here's a thought to leave you with. We tend to equate privacy with intimacy, like you need one for the other. But what if medieval couples, because they had to, actually forged something different, a deeper kind of love, more resilient maybe, a love that didn't just survive despite the lack of privacy, but maybe even grew stronger because of it? Forcing that communication, that connection on levels we don't always reach, something for you to ponder long after this deep dive.